Let's go.
Happy Wednesday, you wonderful, gorgeous human beings. Oh, look at that. Michael Jopling has subscribed. Wow. Thank you, Michael. It's good that you've subscribed. I thought you were a subscriber, but it's lovely to have you. It's possible that you followed me on Twitch. Either way, I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Let me just shrink the chat a little bit. There we go. Because, it's covering up my manly chin. Ray is sat on my manly chin. There's a thing I never thought was going to happen in a month of Sundays. Happy Wednesday. Emphasis on happy. It's our happy, great Wednesday day. I've got 12 happy things to impart. There's tons, actually, because it's been a great week for gaming. A fantastic week, full of good news. But we're not going to cover any of that because, a bit of good news, I'm back tomorrow. You know, I wasn't doing Thursdays. Well, I am now. I'm back tomorrow for our cloud gaming extravaganza. So we're going to cut so much good stuff to cover. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of that tomorrow. So plenty to look forward to, which is good news. Nothing to concern ourselves with there. So that's coming up tomorrow. And of course, Friday for Team Rokk members show. Oh yeah, I mean, it's right up against my mouth. I don't know why I want it so close, but I do. So I'm going to. Let me just check the gain. Gain is good. Must be the volume then. Let me just give myself some volume. That's better. Oh yes, I can hear myself now. So, how are you guys? It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm just trying to think. I was on Players last Thursday. Did I do a show this week? No, I didn't. Because both Monday and Tuesday I had to pick up the youngest Rokk, Little Rokk, Arkansas, as I call her. And so I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to get to you guys, which is, more than a little annoyance. Michael, thank you for joining. Michael's become a Rokk fan. How fantastic. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. It's great to have you on board. So Fridays, Michael, you'll be pleased to hear, we do a members-only show. It's like this one, same time, but it's members only. So we kind of go into stuff and talk about stuff in maybe a little bit more detail. And if anything good comes from it, then I tend to extract it and put it up as a standalone video. Just those bits. And that's worked really well for me. So it's all good. So I am finally, I think, touch wood, I'm finally off the COVID. Blimey. Do you know what? Even up until Sunday, I think, I was feeling rough. I was just not myself, and just very tired, and kind of fragile and in need of some love. Oh, bless you. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. So, but Monday I bounced back like Tigger. Woohoo! And I feel a lot better now. A lot better. I was getting worried because I was thinking, I feel so down. I mean, like, really down. And I was kind of thinking to myself, is this the virus or have I got more of an issue? Luckily, it's kind of resolved itself. So that's really good. I'm so pleased. And thank you guys for popping in. It's lovely to see so many of you as well. Let's have a quick rundown on the old screen. Who have we got here? Oh, yes. First in was PyCon Fusion. Thank you, my friend. And then Ryan, Mr. Beaver, popped in as well. I've actually got I've got a new monitor. If you cheekily have a look at X stroke Twitter, I just posted a picture that I took just before we went live showing the monitor setup. It's quite clever, if I say so myself, because the middle monitor I've got there's the camera with a little tiny screen, but it's really, really tiny, and after a few minutes it goes off anyway. So I've now got the OBS screen on there, so I can see me and I can see the chats and things while I'm still looking at the camera, which I'm really pleased about. My eyes might go up and down a little bit, but it gives me that. So I've taken a 1080p monitor and I've turned it on its side, so it's 1920 by 1080. So it's like a YouTube Shorts shape. And then I can put stuff on there like notes that I want to refer to, or I can see chat down the bottom. It's just really clever. I love it. It's a good little plan. I've still got my two big monitors to the side of there. So the one on the right that's actually kind of running OBS, and the one on the left which has all the screens that I that I share. So, yeah, there we go. Pycon at the top. Thank you, my friend. Then Ryan popped in as well. Hopefully Ryan's still here. He's a mensch, as we used to say in the old country. Rouster Adams here. Of course he is. He pops in during his lunch. Bless him. Good to see you. Crystal's here. Lovely to see Crystal, as always. And, of course, my good friend Ray. Ray had a cracking stream this morning. I was so proud of him. He was he had 30 or 40 people in watching the show. That's amazing. And he's well deserved as well. I mean, why Ray doesn't get that on a regular basis and why he's still a long way away from monetization is probably a bigger mystery than the Loch Ness Monster. Truthfully, I'm not playing it down. I genuinely believe that. I don't get it at all. I think he's an amazing guy. He's a fantastic streamer and friend to everybody. So I was so pleased for him this morning when I saw that. It warmed the cockles of my very heart. Young Neil popped in. Now, Neil is still on holiday, still without a decent Wi-Fi signal, because I think he's camping out in the middle of nowhere. He says it's actually been a bit of a blessing because it's allowing me to read a book. Do you know, my favourite holidays are the ones where I just can't get a signal on my phone and there's no Wi-Fi, and you just have to put all that stuff over there, wean yourself off the dopamine hits and play with the family, get Scrabble out or Monopoly, or just go and lie by the pool or just chill out. And it's amazing, 10 days, 2 weeks of that. Honestly, it's like manna from heaven. Yeah, good shout, Neil. I agree with you on that, my friend. Who else have we got here? Dr. Funtime sent a retracted message. Is that you, Ryan, Dr. Funtime? I think it was. Hit that thumbs up for Rokk. Thank you, Ray. Of course, Michael's popped in and joined Team Rokk. Thank you so much, my friend. That really means a huge amount to me. Who else we got? And Rockmouth as well. Hello. I can't stay. Just wanted to say hi. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much. Don't forget, guys, we're running the usual daily giveaway. So get that exclamation mark win in. And on top of that, if you can beat my good news stories, I will put an extra spin on things so that you, the bearer of good news, takes a prize away with you. And I can't say fairer than that. I think that's pretty darn good. So I got a load of good news. Let's start with. So the first thing was I'm off my COVID. Well pleased with that. So many people in my neck of the woods have got it. My business partner, his mum and dad have just gone down with COVID. Nothing to do with me. I haven't seen them for years. But I have had to be careful because I didn't realise I had it for the first half a week. Initially, I just thought it was like a bad dose of flu or a cold or something. But no, it wasn't. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you, my friend. No more COVID. Yeah, I was, and then I thought, hang on. My sense of taste has gone. Well, it actually hadn't gone. It was just skewing everything to give it all like a really salty, funny taste. Like coffee didn't taste very nice at all. And that's kind of what alerted me. But like the first time, 10 days in, gone, no more virus, but just incredibly tired and fatigued. Fatigué, as the French say. That was me. I wasn't very happy. But that's all done with now, I'm happy to say. Of course, there's loads of great gaming news. There have been some fantastic developments this week, including Gamescom, including Destiny's reveal of the final shape. But we're going to cover that tomorrow. I'm going to do the light dusting before popping it into the oven on gas mark 10 and then allowing Björn and his mates to take it out of the oven fully baked later that day to go into it in more detail. And there's detail to be had, of course, lots of detail to be had. But we'll cover it. There's lots to cover. We'll cover it all tomorrow. I've got some great GeForce Now news as well. Some of it's already been released, but there's some that people aren't aware of. So watch out for that tomorrow. That's going to be good. loads of gaming stuff. So we'll cover that tomorrow. We'll do our thing tomorrow on the whole gaming side of life. What else, Rock? Well, do you know, this is a bit kind of yeah, but for me, I'm happy. So, an old friend of mine, and I'm talking a fella in his 70s, who used to work for me actually, probably about 10, 12 years ago. He got in touch with me and he said, Adam, I want to put a website together, which is a newspaper for the city where he lives. And he said, I haven't got a lot of money, but could you help me? I said, mate, I'll do it for nothing, don't be daft. So I've been spending the last few days building him this website. Now, I don't get to do them that often anymore. And I have to say, I've just been loving it. Oh, getting my hands muddy again, playing with code. Oh, fantastic. GeForce Now just keeps getting better and better, says Michael. You're absolutely right, my friend. With the news that we're gonna tickle it tomorrow, it'll be more detailed later, but there's so much good stuff coming for us cloud gamers. I just feel, we'll do this tomorrow, but I just feel sorry for Stadia, really. It could have been, just imagine if Stadia had still been around. I think so many good things would have come. But there you go, you can't have it all, can you? Crystal can taste and smell other things than rock. I don't know if that's a good thing. I actually pride myself on my sense of smell. I can smell stuff at quite a distance. I can smell people's illness, like those weird dogs that they train to sniff people out and go, yeah, you got something serious, mate. I can smell that. I've done it before. I'm just like a sick. It's like my spidey sense. What's your superhero strength? Strength. It's the strength of smell, my friend. I can sniff breaking wind 6 miles down the road. Yes, that's why they call him Sharky. So anyway, been building the website. I'm very pleased. That's coming together nicely. I'm very happy. He's very happy. I even managed to, he did give me a few pounds, but not many, but I passed them on to my daughter. Bless her, because I don't know if I told you, she had a big fire at her apartment weekend before last, and so she's been a bit bereft of cash. So I passed her the man, and she did a design. She designed the logo for the job. Very happy, very good. So my good news, I'm able to catch the stream live. Joe, it's always an absolute pleasure to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. It is Joe. He's a lovely human being. He genuinely is. So many lovely folk. Yeah, so Michael, it was, she's at university in a seaside town, miles down the road. And they live in dorms, student accommodation. And she's on the 9th floor, so it's not like we're talking, easy to get off and out. And one of the flatmates left the hob on, and there were plastic plates. And this was quite late at night. 11 p.m., midnight, that kind of touch. And she was woken by one of her flatmates who had smelled the smoke. The alarms hadn't gone off. This is the thing. So they vacated. They were fine. The old kitchen is a big fire door between the kitchen and the hallway where their apartments are. So they all vacated. Didn't open the kitchen door, which you should never do, folks. If you see flames and a lot of smoke, do not open the door, because what happens is the oxygen, because flames and fire can only exist with oxygen. It's really ignited air. That's what fire is. It's oxygen on fire at a very high heat, high temperature. And if you open the door, all of the oxygen that's been burned, the fire would just there's no oxygen. The minute you open the door, oxygen rushes in. And of course, it's like when you spray hairspray at a fire. Ultimately, it will go all the way up to the tin and you're in trouble. It comes straight, that's called a backburn, I think, or blowback or something. But if you open the door, woof, straight away the oxygen catches fire and you can be very badly burned. So, little tip, do not open the door. If you see fire, just get the heck out of the house and phone the fire brigade, because the last thing you want is to be singeing your eyebrows. Yeah. Oh, Michael, it gets better, my friend, because not only did it actually had heat sensors in the kitchen. Not only did they not trigger, but the fire extinguishers, which are law, you have to have fire extinguishers on every floor, particularly within a kitchen and proximity. They were locked with a padlock. Because students messing about, right? But what's the point in having a fire extinguisher if you can't use it? Duh. It was just a travesty of errors. One of the elevators, there's 2 elevators. You shouldn't use an elevator in a fire, in truth. You should go down the stairs. But one of those was broken anyway. And then when they set the alarm off downstairs, it only went off on the first floor. So it was not very good. How they managed to get approval from the local authorities, I do not know. Luckily, she's only there for another 7 or 8 days, and that's finished. So we've not made a big thing of it. But no, I agree. It's not good. It's not big. It's not clever. But that ain't good news, is it? The good news is that the bad news is all of her food perished. So the cupboard with food and stuff it showed in the fridge, was all tainted by the chemicals that the fire brigade used and smoke and stuff. So they did fair enough. They did say buy what you need and we'll reimburse you. So that was fine. But I put my money from this fella. I gave it to her so she could go and have a nice time and buy some food and stuff. So she did the logo, which is amazing, and I'm building the website, and that's good news. I'm happy with that, and I love doing stuff for friends, and there's not always a need to make a profit. So very happy. That was my 3rd bit of good news. 4th is the sun's been out this week in Rochester, down here on the coast, and it's been glorious. Now I know everyone's going, well, it's the summer, mate. Of course the sun's been out. It hasn't been out in Britain. We had June was our summer, and then it disappeared, and we've had no summer. Wow. Certain hot sauces can singe your eyebrows, says Ryan. Wow, can it? I don't want to singe my eyebrows. I care carefully for my eyebrows. So the sun's been out, that's lovely, because it just makes you feel better, doesn't it? Doesn't matter what's going on. If it's grey and rainy and miserable, it just kind of makes everything 10 times worse, doesn't it? But when the sun's out, you're like, so I've been sat out in the garden, looking for bumblebees, as you do, see if there's any I can rescue. But I haven't found any. I did see a little ant wandering along. I don't think it was Cowboy. It was a little fella. But that was nice. A bit of sunshine, driving around in that. Very nice, very nice. I had a meeting this afternoon with a client, so he bought me a coffee, which I was much appreciative of. The sun was shining. It was good. I felt good. I discovered a new artist as well, guys. You may be aware of this fellow. He's called Ren, R-E-N. Hadn't come across him before. I was watching Justin Hawkins, who was in a brilliant band back in I think it was the 90s, who believed in a thing called love. And he does a weekly, I think it's every other day, he does like a live, like this, a YouTube show. And he talks, he does musical reviews and he talks to, and he's got The Darkness. Thank you, Michael. Do you know what, Michael? I don't know if you've seen his show. It's called Justin Hawkins Rides Again. He's such a lovely guy. He really is. Very knowledgeable, obviously, about the music industry. But I discovered this new artist called Ren. I forget what his surname is. R-E-N. I think the YouTube channel is Ren Does Music or something. But he's like, if I was going to put him in a box, and I think he defies being put in a box, I would say if you took some Ed Sheeran, he's been all over. He's got like 1.5 million subscribers or something. If you took a blob of Ed Sheeran, a chunk of Eminem and Plan B, maybe some Stormzy as well, and you kind of put it all together. I think that's kind of where he is. Very urban. He's been on a journey. He discovered recently that he's been suffering from the after effects of Lyme's disease, which you get typically from being bitten by a tick. You know, those horrible things that your dog gets. They can carry Lyme disease, and if you get it, it can be horrible. People can be... Stormzy's amazing, isn't he, Ray? He really is. People can be permanently disabled from Lyme disease. There's all sorts of nasty side effects. But his created huge mental issues. I mean, like things like psychosis. You know, there was an incident he talks about on the Justin Hawkins interview where he stripped naked and lay on a public road laughing, thinking he was being attacked by demons. And this is all to do with his Lyme disease thing. Anyway, his music is really bringing a lot of that stuff. You know, I mean, they say every great artist digs deep and finds the stuff that upsets them the most, but he's got some really, really good stuff. There's a great song called High Ren. There's another one called Suicide. I mean, these are dark, don't get me wrong. You know, they come from a dark place, but it comes from a place of hope, because he discovered what his illness was, and he has been undergoing treatment ever since. And he's much loved. He's got a huge fan base. A bit like the way Justin Bieber built his career out of YouTube and then ultimately got signed. As far as I'm aware, Ren isn't yet signed to a label. He's quite happy just creating his work independently. But check him out. R-E-N. I think it's Ren Does Music, but I may be wrong. But certainly I'm a fan. I think I'm not sure you'd want to listen to a whole album in one go. You might feel a bit down, but it's very clever, and he does these amazing raps. You know, he's got an amazing voice. He's a great guitar player, writes all his own material. He's definitely a future star. For me, he's maybe Ed Sheeran's darker brother. In a nice way, because I actually watched him being interviewed by Justin Hawkins for about an hour, and he's a super guy. I mean, clearly he's had issues, and he talks very openly about them as well. But he can also get, as you can with Justin Hawkins, he's just a nice guy. He's had some shit breaks. So yeah, check him out. I enjoyed that. That was finding out about him. Tom MacDonald is also an awesome rapper. I shall check him out, Reva. Thank you, my friend. Tom MacDonald. Didn't he used to own a farm? Oh, no, that was his granddad. He certainly never made burgers, because that's the thing that winds me up. When people say I'm going to get a Big Mac, it's like, what are you calling it a Mac for? It was never called a McDonald's. It's a Mook. There's no A in it. It's McDonald's. It's a Big Mook. Not a Big Mac. Egypts. But yeah, and what else on my list of great news? Controllers. I've got happy controller news. I have resurrected 2 of my old Stadia controllers that were kind of... I had converted them to Bluetooth, as we all did, but they'd stopped working properly, and I managed to get those fixed. And then... Oh, is he? He's from Canada. I shall check him out, man. And then this puppy, my old PS4 controller. For years, I thought this was dead. DOA. And I just popped it up on the shelf. Every time I tried charging it, it would sort of show a bit of light, and then I've unplugged it, it wouldn't work. But then I found a different lead, and I charged it, and it works. I obviously wasn't using a lead that has enough ampage to convey the electric that you need to control to stir up a controller. So I was dead chuffed. That one's back to life. And also, as Michael just mentioned, this thing as well, which I've been using for the NVIDIA Shield. Yeah. I actually bought this one when I bought my Steam Deck originally. so that I could use it on that one. And I've just been using it for my Ally and Shield and what have you. But the right thumbstick kind of just moves on its own. Not like that. It's obviously you don't see it moving, but it's something inside. So when it's on, you could just watch the cursor or the camera just going up like this. It's so annoying. And I got in touch with Microsoft because Amazon said, with Amazon, they always tell you you've got 30 days warranty, right? You can actually go, if you go underneath all of that stuff, if you go right down the bottom of the screen, the Amazon screen, if you go right to the bottom and click on Contact Us, I think it is, and dig about a bit, you will find a link, I think it's in support, where you can actually go in and report the fact that something you've bought that's over 30 days, hello Sam, is you could go in and say it's not working. And even though on the main page of your orders it says warranty out, you can't return it anymore, what they actually mean is that you can't return it just because you don't like it. But people think they mean even if it's broken. So you have to dig a bit. You can't do it from the main page. But when you get in underneath and do all that, you can send stuff back. I do it a fair amount. But in this case, I just went to Microsoft and they said, what's the problem? They didn't actually say anything. It was all automated. What's the problem? I said, well, thumbstick. And they said, no worries. Do you still live here? Yeah. Well, we sent a brand new one out for £0 and 0 pence. Great news. Woohoo! I was well happy with that. So I'm getting a new Xbox controller for Zippo charge. Now, of course, an unscrupulous individual would think, just wait 12 months, wait 11 months, and then say your controller's not working anymore and get a new one. But I would not advocate you doing this. No. But it probably works. I don't know how many times you get away with that, but it certainly would. It would work. So Stadia controllers, PlayStation controllers, Xbox controllers. I've got controllers galore now. But you see, I need them because look at this. PC. All right. That one I'm using my PlayStation 4 controller. It's just lovely. This thing, it's the oldest of all of this tech, but it's so quiet and soft and responsive. I love it, and it sits comfortably in your hand. It's a beautiful thing. Xbox controllers, well, I use this one for the Shield, and I use the other one for my Xbox. And then I have two DualSense PlayStation 5 controllers, one for my PS5 and one that I use for my ROG Ally. What else have I got? Other kit. I mean, I've got Luna. I did actually think about buying a Luna controller. I was going to go in and buy a Luna controller before I realised I could get a replacement. Because I thought, £41, it's down 10 quid. But you've got to put batteries in it like the Xbox controller. I hate that. I want to be able to charge the flipping thing up on a lead. Environment. I did get some rechargeable batteries the other day. And to be fair, the Xbox controllers do last a fair amount, but I was pretty unhappy. So what's this? Crystal got some good news. Only 1 week and 4 days and I get to go home. Oh, but well, hey, what's the story, Jack and Ori? Hang on, where are you that you're not at home? Are you incarcerated? at federal pleasure? Where are you that's not at home? And why aren't you? Why can't you go home, and why do you have to wait a week and 4 days? And why are you unhappy about this? Oh, we need to know more. Yes. Ohio. Yeah, but why? And why are you looking forward to going home? You don't have to say. I'm just intrigued. But it's good that it's good news for you. That's the key. Ryan's family. Is it that bad that you can't wait to get home? I mean, I know, it's just you and me. It's fine to be able to say that. I mean, I can imagine he's a handful. Right, Ryan's probably at the house, isn't he? He's at the house that you're not at, and you're stuck in Ohio. Wow, Ryan, what's wrong with you? Phoenix says, I'm not sure if my internet's good enough for remote play. What with PlayStation? What's your internet speed, Sam? You should try it. I did offer you. Did you take a free code for GeForce Now? Did you or not? I can't remember. But you should try it out using GeForce Now or PlayStation. They've got their own cloud thing. I love the PlayStation cloud thing. I just think it's brilliant. Really is high quality. But anyway, we're going to talk games tomorrow. So much news. What else have I got before we throw it over to the Good News website? India landed on the moon. So many jokes. I'm not going there, okay? I'm not going there. But actually, well done to them, in fairness, because nobody has ever landed in the south pole of the moon, because apparently it's the terrain is very, very rocky and crater patched. So they've sort of avoided it. And Russia, they tried landing there a couple of weeks ago. I don't know why would they be putting theirs? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, they failed. It crashed. So much for their efforts. But the dear little Indians, they managed to land theirs. They got one down. And they're going to be sending a little rover out as well. All unmanned stuff. I don't think we're going to see a manned flight to the moon for a while. Although I do think NASA have got one lined up. There's a brilliant... there still persists this whole thing about the moon landings being faked. And actually, there's some really compelling theories that I've seen where you go, that's a fairly good point, guys. But if you watch the Y-Files, I've talked about him in the past. I love that show. He does a really good one on the faked moon landings. And as is the way the show works, he spends 2/3 of the show delivering the theories as if they're facts, which is really interesting, a bit like watching unsolved mysteries. And then he spends the last quarter of the show debunking it all. He actually was kind of a bit jury out on the moon. There is some stuff that you think that is interesting. But the big one is how did the astronauts get through the Van Allen belt? That's always been the one for me. So the Van Allen belt is a belt of radiation, Van Allen radiation, which is surrounds the Earth. It's one of the things that protects us from external sun rays and stuff, and it's incredibly radioactive. If you were to go and live in it for a day, you wouldn't come out a second day, right? So there's always been this controversy about, well, how did they get through the Van Allen belt? Because it is incredibly, unless you have a spaceship made of lead, which would never get off the Earth. It turns out that apparently, if you go through the Van Allen belt at a fast enough pace, it doesn't do any damage, which is essentially what they did. So that was, it's worth knowing. But good on them. Good on you, Indians, I say. No, he's right next to you. Oh, bless him. But yeah, so anyway, it's quite good. So down on the South Pole, the real reason for going there, apart from claiming territory, is if they can find a significant enough water, and I think there's supposed to be a fair amount on the moon, they can use it to use it as fuel for future manned flights, not just to the moon and back, but to other planets in the solar system. In our lifetime, we ain't going beyond the solar system. Don't even think about it. There's no Star Trek happening in our lifetime. To get a couple of fellas and a couple of fellaresses to Mars is going to take, a couple of years or something ridiculous. So that ain't happening. Not with our current tech. But I thought it was good. It's nice to see. And you know what? There's nothing like... I watched it live just before I went to that meeting. And they were all super excited. And as it landed, they all jumped in the air and they were high-fiving each other. Well, they weren't actually. They don't do that. But they were clapping and stuff. And it was just... It made me feel really good. I felt a bit teary watching it. I thought, bless them. Imagine the effort. Speaking of space, are you looking forward to Starfield? I really am, actually, mate. I really am. We'll cover it more tomorrow, but it's also looking like with the news this week that it could be coming to GeForce Now via Game Pass. It hasn't been discounted. That is going to be very special. Very special. But we'll cover that all tomorrow. I've got some good thoughts on that. But yeah, I really am. I am about 100 hours into Baldur's Gate 3 now. I'm hello, Unitrix. How are you, my friend? I'm kind of I'm doing everything that I can find. I know if I was just to go main story, I could probably have finished it by now, but I'm kind of squeezing all the last bit of fun out of it, which is annoying because I still need to finish Hogwarts and I still need to finish the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn Westworld, whatever it's called. I bought that the other week and I have only spent about an hour in it. So I've got stuff that I want to get out of the way. I've also got a few codes that I need to do some streams on as well. Yeah, I've been a bit obsessed with it, but not in the same way everyone else has been, Michael. I don't. A lot of folk, particularly those that love Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs and that stuff. I did finish Dead Island 2, absolutely, Phoenix. Guess how I finished it? That was the first game I played mods with, and I tell you what it was. Do you remember the clown? We talked about this, the clown that when you get to the fairground area, and I just couldn't put it down. I actually watched a video on how to get him down, and it made sense, and I could have done it. But it was the first time I used the mods, and I just got rid of him with one shot and finished the whole game off. But yeah, I really loved it. There's still some stuff I could do in there though, but I have completed the game. I completed Remnant 2. I mean, some games like Hogwarts and Baldur's Gate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you use mods because a lot of the game is about puzzles. So Baldur's Gate, a lot of it is about, I need to do this, but I need to find something which the game hasn't told me what it is or where it is in order to do that. Well, it doesn't matter what mods you're running. You can be invincible, but if you don't know how to solve the puzzle, if you can't solve the puzzle, you ain't getting anywhere. So it doesn't bother me too much. But no, loving it, but not as much as everybody else. That's my whole point. I am really, really enjoying it. And I've had it since it was early access. I think NVIDIA gave me a code. But back then I really couldn't get my head around it. And what was a big, big difference for me, which of course you guys have seen because we did it live, was discovering, particularly with the main release, that you can use a controller. And it changes the way the game works, as you've seen. Because it is actually fairly complicated, I think, with all the stuff on the screen when you're using a keyboard and mouse. And the minute you switch in a controller, it takes all that away, and it just makes it a little bit easier to play, in my book. So that's all good. I've got some great games coming up to play. So Outright Games, bless them, they're so sweet. I've been given a code for, guess what? Baby Shark. Baby Shark. They've got a new game out, Baby Shark. So I've got a code for that. Michael, honestly, I think it really is more fun with a controller. I totally agree. I mean, I've got a video out there actually. You know when we covered this off on the Team Rokk Friday, guys, I took that section and I put it up as a separate video. I haven't looked recently, but it's absolutely exploded for me. Why is my mouse button's not working? How annoying. I wonder why nothing was happening. What's wrong with my mouse? Hang on. If I plug it directly in, let's do that. 1 second, guys. Oh dear. Technology. There we go. Right, that should work. Let's have a look. Yes, that's better. No, still not working. Uh-oh. Am I still live? It's frozen. Oh no. I'm still here, right? You can see me. Oh, there's my mouse. It's released now. Wow. I've never seen anything like this. Tabs aren't... Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was, I don't know, a couple of thousand views. And I also... Thank you, Michael. I also promoted that video. For the first time ever, I paid money to promote a video to see what would happen. I was interested in what the results would be. So as you guys know, from December last year until recently, I've been building subscribers by doing the giveaways. Now, I'd noticed over the last, well, certainly the last Starfield, and even the game before that, which I forget what it is now, but I'd noticed it dropping off quite a bit. And I think that that's probably because I'd reached as far as my bubble goes, you know, people's friends of friends and stuff on Twitter. And they'd already subscribed and done their thing. So there was, yeah, they entered the giveaway, but the subscriber base had only gone up about 7. Now, bearing in mind, I'd already bought Starfield for the giveaway, which cost me about 70 quid, right? So that's £10 per subscription. Plus, it's not really a sustainable route to build your channel. I've never said it is, and I know I came in for a massive amount of stick from people telling me that I bought subscribers, and then when I said no, I did this, they go, well, it's still not great. Well, I agree, it isn't, because what happens is yes, they subscribe because they want to win a prize, and yes, they may not unsubscribe, but the chances are they're not going to watch the content either. So it doesn't get you the views and the engagement and the stuff that really matters in truth. Because, you know, ultimately, advertising and word of mouth and stuff comes from the amount of people that watch the videos, not the amount of people subscribe. But by paying to promote that video, which has cost me about the same as Starfield cost me, so it's a good comparison, all right? Bearing in mind, 7 subscribers for the price of Starfield as a giveaway, £10 each, right? We love you too, Crystal, bless you. Bearing that in mind, £10, so that's what we call cost of acquisition in business, right? Subscribe, you know, if you're GeForce Now, cost of acquisition is you've got a guy paying $15 a month, $150 a year, whatever. How much has he or she cost to acquire? Right? Oh, bless you, Ryan. And that's the cost of acquisition. And that's why they do things like give you a free something when you sign up. Because they've worked out that if it costs them $30 of marketing and advertising to attract you as a new subscriber, if they can get you on board by giving you a $10 thing, which looks like it's high value, they've saved money. $20 acquisition, right? It's how it works. So I'm looking at the cost of acquisition. How much does it cost? Because I want more people to enjoy this content. It's not just about my ego. I want the channel to have a load of folk that go, I really enjoy watching him and his content. That means I can do more interesting stuff and everybody benefits, right? So here's the maths, because I think this is fascinating. So bearing in mind, just to recap, $70 for the game of Starfield and a bit of my time, we won't bother to weigh that in, and I got 7 subscribers. I may have got more since, but that was at that time. $10 a subscriber, right? The cost of the game divided by 10 new subscribers, or 7 new, sorry, $10. So I paid the same amount to promote that video. So it goes out when you're on YouTube and you're going, oh, I'm interested in Baldur's Gate 3. It's going to put my video in the list of videos that come up where I wouldn't get a look in normally, but because I've paid, they sneak me in as a promoted video. Now, the important thing is if someone sees the thumbnail or the video title and it's not interesting, then they're not going to click, all right? So you've got to put a half-decent video out there and one that catches the moment. I just caught the Baldur's Gate moment, in truth. So I wanted to pull up, I wanted to pull this up to show you. I can't get Microsoft Edge to, it's just not firing up any tabs. So let me see if I do it on Chrome. I just want to be able to give you the right numbers. The last thing I want, though, is to pull the stream down. I think we've got some, let me try, nothing is working, right? I think the fact that we're just here is good enough. I think I should stop tempting fate. I don't even know that I'm going to be able to click on the wheel or anything yet. I'll tell you what it was. Anyway, I'll give you some idea of the numbers, okay? So, out of the same amount of money, bearing in mind only 7 with the game giveaway, the last time I looked, there were over 200 new subscribers. And that was roughly working out to about $1 per subscriber versus $10. So it was 1,000% better than game giveaways, which is amazing. But the great thing is, to achieve that, it's got something like 1,500 views, because it roughly worked out about 10%. So about 1,500 people watched the video. Some may have gone back again. And something like 150,000 had seen the thumbnail. All right? So it's kind of 10%, 10%, 10%. I think this is an absolutely brilliant way. If you've got the money, and don't forget, I'm using members' cash to do this. You know, all the money I make on this channel goes back into the channel. Originally, it was to buy my microphone and my camera and all that stuff, which I haven't needed to upgrade. So now it goes into how I can grow the channel, how I can get out to more people, you know, be more interesting. So the last time I looked, and I can't look at the moment, it was about 6,100 subscribers, which I'm really chuffed about, because for me it's a sustainable way, rather than doing the big game giveaways every month, which they've just been dropping off a cliff. You know, what's the point? Rather than doing that, putting the money into advertising and promoting the channel, which encourages people to watch the videos, you know, and then if they like the content, they subscribe. Don't forget, there's no reason for them to subscribe. It doesn't say, hello, here's a video, subscribe or you've had it, or you're not going to get anything. It's purely if they like what they see, they subscribe. I think I'm absolutely chuffed to pieces with that. Yeah, thanks, Michael. Oh, bless you, my friend. Well, you know, hopefully it will with time. I mean, and don't forget, I've only been streaming since 2000 and when was it? 2020, wasn't it? It was February 2020. So it's only 3 years old. You know, and I think that the key thing is, and I was talking to Björn about this, it just goes to show, and this is pertinent to anybody who is a content creator, it just goes to show that all of us would be getting far more views and far more subscriptions if we could only get in front of more people. And it's a shame that you have to buy your space to achieve that, because the algorithm's not going to do it for you, you know, unless your channel is getting amazing, you know, if people are watching. So for an example, my channel only achieves about the first 3 minutes of every video on average watched. 3 minutes. Here we are, we're now nearly an hour in. And when this thing goes out and the averages come in, apart from you guys, because you're here with me live, but in the post live watches, the average time that people watch is 3 minutes. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So, you know, the thing is run! It's my little horse. Little horse here, Ron. So if you can achieve much better than that, and there are ways of doing it, but it's easier to do it if you pre-record your videos, because there's tricks you can do. There's stuff you can do, you know, zooming in and zooming out and putting text on the screen and stuff happening, and stick around because I'm going to give you this at the end of the show and all that stuff, right? There's ways you can do it. You can't do it with a live show because this is it. It's me in front of a camera. That's it. I can't zip myself in and zip myself out and then, you know, cut and do this and B-roll and all that stuff that everybody that gets great engagement knows how to play with. But there you go. That's a bit of good news. My bad news is I don't know what to do about my mouse. I know. Let me put this one on. This is my wireless, my favourite little wireless mouse. The thing I love about this little mouse, by the way, is it's hyper quiet. I bought it because it makes no noise. This thing, which is what I've been using, this gaming mouse, is fine, but it's quite noisy. Yes, it's working. Woohoo! Actually, while I've got it working, let me just double check those numbers for you. Tell you what, we'll go over to Simple Larry, because I can show you this. I want to prove this is not a case of me buying subscriptions. You can absolutely see that I'm telling you the truth. Okay, a little bit less than I thought. I said about 200. It's actually 173, but I'll show you anyway. So here we go. I'll shrink it down and zip in a bit so you can see this. Right, so there's the video that so you can see here, look, channel content, promotions, status active, cost. As I've said, about £70, about the same cost as Starfield, right? Baldur's Gate 3, no other video tells you this. It's got a hook. And it's really about using a controller. And the truth is, no other video does tell you that. Because if you watch any of the Baldur's Gate videos, they're all using keyboard and mouse, all of them. So I thought it was, it's pretty cool. And don't forget as well, people now that are about to get Baldur's Gate on PlayStation, they will be playing with controllers, and how I show it is what they will be seeing. So it does have some benefits. But anyway, you can see here, let me see if I can trying to get you to be able to, let me zip this down and pull this over a bit. It's a bit, oh, I'll tell you what I can do. If I push this down there, that's better. There. Right, good. Now that pull that out there. Now you can see it now. Right, here we go. So, cost of Starfield, right? 70 odd quid. Promotion impressions. So this is the amount of people who have seen the thumbnail. That's what that means. In their viewport, bit of the screen, their phone, their monitor, whatever. They've seen the thumbnail, 103,000 people, okay? Or at least it's popped up 103,000 times, because they may have seen it 10 times, I don't know. The promotion views, so for the length of this campaign, and it has only been going, I'm trying to think when I set this off, only about a week, maybe less than a week. Promotion views, so the video itself has been viewed 1,661 times. So that's obviously shows up in the views. For how long it doesn't show you, but you could see that in the analytics. And the point is that it says here, promotion subscribers shows how many people subscribe to the channel after watching 10 seconds of the video or clicked on your promotion and subscribed to it within 3 days. 173 versus 7 for the giveaway. I don't mind spending this kind of money. I would rather spend the money doing this, getting 170. See, the campaign's not finished. I absolutely think it's going to hit 200 before the campaign concludes. It ends on the 28th, I think. I would rather spend the money getting 200 subscribers who have actually subscribed because they like the look of what they saw, which means they're likely to watch more. I'd rather spend it there than on game giveaways. So I wanted to show you this, guys. I know this is a bit behind the scenes, and I don't normally do this for the non-members videos, but there will be no doubt people who will be saying, he's at it again, look at him, look at his numbers, he's at it again. Well, you can see here, I'm absolutely giving you the behind the scenes data. Share it with your friends. And think about this. I know other people who have come to me offline and said, yeah, I did that with this video that I did, and it got me a further 40 subscribers. So you don't have to spend a massive amount to do this. You could throw $10 at it, and you know, that's going to get you 10 to 20 subscribers. And if you're building a channel, it's not a bad thing. Obviously, if you buy subscribers, right, and then the next worst thing to that is the giveaways. But if you buy subscribers, that's useless. Half of them are going to be bots, probably. And those that aren't, they're not interested in your channel at all. So they're never going to watch your stuff. But this is people that are genuinely interested. So as long as you can keep the kind of content up, I don't think there's any point, for example, doing a Barbie video that you wouldn't normally do, or an Oppenheimer or Barbenheimer or whatever, purely to appeal to a certain audience, if the rest of your content is nothing like it and never will be, because they've subscribed on the basis of what they've seen, but they're never going to see anything that they like again. So it has to be reflective of who you are and the kind of stuff you do. So there you go. What else did I have in my good news? I got Skull and Bones beta coming up the next few days. I'm really looking forward to that. I did have a couple of codes available if anybody's interested. I put them up on my Discord. I don't know that anybody clicked, but you can download the beta, and play that if you want to. So I think it's for about 4 or 5 days you can play that. Right. I'm really pleased, guys, that I got my mouse working, because it means that I wasn't about to die. Here we are over at the Good News website. You know all about this. We cover this every Wednesday. We have a little look at what is going on in the world of good news. And there's a few here. We've got an unloved English field restored to beautiful brook as part of a large project to glorify the river Is. I don't know where that is, that river. Is it Isleworth, maybe? The largest organised search for Loch Ness Monster to have a byproduct of mass scientific study of Britain's largest lake. We'll have a look at that in a second. India approves $7 billion for 10,000 electric buses. That's good news. To clean air in 170 cities. That's good news. Trouble is, poor old India, they get all the plastic waste from around the world. It comes in on massive boats. I'm talking mountains of plastic bottles. You know, you drink your water, filling yourself up with microparticulates of plastic, right? Done in the bin. Plastic doesn't rot. It kind of breaks down, but it takes about 10,000 years, right? So there's places that reconstitute it and turn it into things, and you know, building materials and flip-flops, that kind of stuff. But most of it goes to India, and they have mountains of plastic. It's a real shame. Australian lyrebirds give singing lessons. Have you ever heard a lyrebird? They are the most amazing mimics. You know how parrots and cockatiels and parakeets and budgerigars and stuff and canaries, you know how they're quite good at mimicking us. You know, you can teach a parrot to say a phrase. A lyrebird is like 1,000 miles better. Lyrebirds, and I'm not kidding, I've seen lyrebirds mimicking the sound of a jackhammer So it's picked up the noise of a jackhammer from a road construction site, and then off it goes into the bush doing a with the bass and everything. They are unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if... I doubt very much that we'll get an opportunity to hear a lyrebird here, but just Google it. Have a look on YouTube. And I mean, honestly, their ability is unbelievable. I mean, they can literally take any sound and reproduce it. It's a tiny little bird. It's not tiny. It's about the size of a thrush. But, you know, it's small. Deep in the primordial forests of Victoria State's Dandenong Ranges National Park, where there are still ferns as tall as trees, you know, like primeval dinosaur plants. The superb lyrebird Manura Nova Hollandi can be seen performing. And all of this is for courtship. Elaborate courtship displays with its trademark tail, flanked by two S-shaped feathers. That's where the term lyrebird comes from. Because if you ever look at a musical lyre, it has that kind of shape, that sort of S shape. Resembling the instrument that lends the bird its name. It can also be found in Kinglake National Park and other areas in Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania and Queensland that are protected. These animals are more than just splendid singers. Where are we? These animals are more than deep in the... Oh yeah, there it is. More than just splendid singers, but talented teachers. And their courtship displays are like professional repertoire reviews from which the next generation of juvenile suitors learn how to sing. I didn't know this. But of course they all, you know, look, in the world, it's nature or nurture. You're either born with it or you learn it. It's one of the two, right? So it's not, oh, hang on, there's a link. Oh, that's a fella. I want to find you. Wildlife sound recorders. I want to find you a lyrebird doing its thing. Have I got the mic clock music? It's not going to work if I don't have a audio in. Let me just create one. I'll see if I can find you. Audio input, output capture. Yeah, that'll do it, I think. And then that one. Where's that gone? Sorry about this, guys. It'll be worth it. Trust me, it'll be worth it. System. Not that one. Wavelength. Ah, there it is, right down the bottom, the very last one. So, hey Obi, just getting here, super busy, but hope all is well. Bless you, my friend. Good to see you, dude. How are you keeping? I hope you're well. Your videos, your streams are getting more and more popular, aren't they? It's great to see. It's brilliant stuff. Now then, I'm just trying to... I don't know why this isn't coming up on my thing. I'm having some technicals here, my friend. I'm trying to... Clock music, PG music. Well, it doesn't matter if I can't. There's this thing, the lyrebird, which does make the most amazing... You can't hear David Attenborough here, can you? David Attenborough. I love David Attenborough. What an absolutely gorgeous human being he is. Of course, the poor fella is well into his 90s now, and he's looking worse for wear, but he's still making videos. He's still doing stuff. Absolutely amazing. Why am I not seeing this? Let me just check its properties. Here we go. Output, what's it called? Output camera capture 2. Monitor and output, should be. Doesn't matter, we'll do it another day. I'm having fun issues today, as you guys know. Anyway, so look, check it out. Lyrebird, Lyrebird, and just listen yourself. I trust me, You've never heard anything like it. They literally can mimic jackhammers or cars or people singing perfectly. Unbelievable creatures in the wilds of Australia. What else have we got very quickly? Because I want to get on with the wheel. We've only got 5 people have entered. Another indicator that the whole game giveaway thing is kind of coming to its end, I think. 4,200-year-old ceramic storm drains in ancient Chinese town are the oldest of their kind. 1 million new seagrass seedlings. I tell you what, just the final thing we do, because I actually heard about this the other day. The largest organised search. I think there's a couple of hundred people that are going to go. You imagine stringing along with boats and sonar and underwater cameras and stuff all the way along. I've actually been to Loch Ness a few times. That castle that you're seeing there is Urquhart Castle. Urquhart Castle, spelt with a Q. As you can see, it's the remains of a castle, but there's an amazing visitors centre. You can go through and do all that stuff. But my wife's great uncle, his working life was maintaining Urquhart Castle. He lives in Inverness, which is the nearest town to Loch Ness. And whenever we've gone up to Scotland, he's taken us to some of the places that he used to maintain, all these beautiful ancient castles and ancient Celtic places and stuff. I do love it up there. There's been some really interesting research done on Loch Ness. It's very, very deep, and does have a natural inlet from the sea, but it cuts right the way across Scotland. If you have a look, it's like a break across Scotland. So, there are some animals that make their way in there, but what they discovered is that it has a current underneath the surface which creates disturbance, which bubbles up and then creates that kind of bubbly effect. So it's not like you watch waves on the surface of the sea or the surf, because it's underneath. So rather than creating waves, it's just like bubble. It's just like like a hump, right? Shape of a Loch Ness monster, basically. And they know this because in 1967, the year I was born, there was an attempt at the fastest, I say land, but it was on water. So I'm trying to think who the name of the guy was now. I don't think it was Francis Chichester, but there was a guy who had built an incredibly fast vehicle, and he was going to try and beat the world record for speed on Loch Ness. What was his name? Anyway, he crashed. He died. Bless him. Bluebird, I think, was the name of the craft. And they now know that the reason that the craft crashed was because it hit this under the surface current. So it just needed a little bit to pop up, and he hit it, and it was literally like hitting a hard thing. Killed him. 67. The name will come to me in a minute. So that happened, and that's why they fairly certain that's what causes that ripply effect. This weekend, and when was this? I think August 23rd, so it's live today, so it's literally this weekend. The Loch Ness Centre is holding the largest ever search for the mythical monster, and will feature a horde of volunteers wielding high-tech equipment never before used on the lake. Loch is Scottish for lake. Loch. There's always a at the end. It will be the biggest organised search since 1972. That was the year that they took photos of what looked like the paddle fins of a plesiosaur and the neck of a plesiosaur, because there was a lot of people were saying that the Loch Ness monster was this ancient plesiosaur, this kind of long-necked, spade-finned shaped creature that had somehow survived from extinction. And that was in 1972, which is basically what it's saying there. 22 square miles, and with a maximum depth of 788 feet. Loch Ness is Britain's 788 feet. Britain's largest lake and its unique ecology will be recorded with hydrophones. I mean, there are some amazing things in Loch Ness. There are, there's masses of World War II planes, for example. A lot of training took place in Scotland. So, there's a lot of crashes and stuff. And so you've got these huge bombers at the base of the lake, for example. Obviously, ships that have sunk. Most claims of the Loch Ness Monster over the years have been admitted hoaxes. But it's possible that once upon a time there could have been a giant Weiss Wells catfish that would have looked perhaps like a serpent. I mean, yeah. Curly! Dude. Oh, look at that. Curly's been a member for 8 months. What an absolute star. Thank you, my friend. Muchos apreciados. It's my little made-up Italian phrase. Anyway, that's coming up this weekend. Let's watch this space, I guess. It'd be lovely to think they find something. But it's hugely unlikely. But it's an amazing tourist trap for, a little corner of Scotland that dines out on it. Like Pompeii. We talked about Pompeii, didn't we, on a previous Happy Wednesday. Paul Nixon, general manager of the Loch Ness Centre, said he's excited to see the waters searched like never before. We're guardians of this unique story, Nixon said. And as well as investing in creating an unforgettable experience for visitors, we are committed to helping continue the search and unveil the mysteries as they are. Not a many. Right, let's get the wheel out the way, guys. Sorry to keep you here a bit longer than normal. I was so excited to be doing another show with you guys because I've literally, not been able to do anything for days. Let's get the wheel up. I need to get the entrance. I need to add you guys who have entered beyond being members. And actually, let me add Michael as well. Michael's in there. Brilliant. And Michael, you go in twice because you are a member, and you also because you get 2 entries as a member. In fact, I'll put you in 3 because you also entered manually. So there you go. You got 3 attempts, or three chances of winning today. And then we have Mr. Reaver the Beaver and PyCon Fusion and Ray. Right, let me shuffle you guys up. There we go. And close that down, and we get ourselves over to the Wheel of Fortune. Here we go. Ah, the music. So good. So good. It's all good, my friend. We look after members on this channel, don't we, members? We do. And also, guys, I want you to tell me if you've never won a game whilst being a member. I'm trying to compile a list of people that have never won a game, and then I'm going to do a special one-off wheel spin with just those folk, give them more of a chance, or give them a shed load of entries or something. It'd be nice. I just want everybody to win something. Oh, you're in anyway, Adam, aren't you? I know what you mean, though, my friend. Right, let me get the Wheel of Entrances up, and we'll spin that one first. So we'll see who is. Let me give it a little shuffle in front of your eyes so you can see it. There we go. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And now I'm going to spin the wheel. Good luck, everybody. Let's see. There's Michael. Oh. It's gonna be... Oh, I think this is gonna miss you, Reva. It's gonna be Lee, I think. Or is it gonna keep going? Yeah, it's my mate Levi. Bless him. Guys, here's some interesting news. Not good news for somebody, and also, I have to say, not unexpected news. But you remember the Wagner boss, Yevgeny Prigozhin, who, you know, they had that march to Russia the other month. Well, guess what? He's been killed in a plane crash. What a surprise! Didn't see that coming, did we? Wow. The world is so blatant. I'm not hugely surprised. I'm amazed he was still hanging about. Wow. Anyway, he's no longer. That's the end of him. Yes, 9 other people died as well. Interesting. Wow. Anyway, my good friend Levi, I was giving you a bit of breaking news. Let's see what young Levi, he is a lovely fella. I went to his wedding. Do you remember? Remember me telling you before, guys, how I went to his wedding? Super lovely guy. He used to do a lot of stadia. Sorry, just moving the chat box so that you can see. There we go. He used to do a lot of Stadia streams back in the day, and then he got married. And he's been too busy being a husband, bless him. But he did invite me to his wedding, and I had a fantastic time. And funny enough, I was looking at some photos the other day. He's a sweetheart. He was a really, really nice guy. FIFA, he used to do a lot of FIFA, didn't he? He used to do FIFA. He used to do Football Manager. He did the old Stars at Night, Stadia Stars at Night with me. And he's just a super guy. Super fella. Anyway, let's see what he's going to win. So we've got him on there. Let's get the games up now. Now, while I spin this, Michael, did you make a decision in the end on whether to go for the Logitech or the Ally? Because we were talking the other day, Michael was in two minds about whether to invest in a handheld, and we talked for a little while about my thoughts, and I think you kind of were erring towards the Ally, weren't you? I'd be keen to know what you ended up with. Right, let's spin the wheel and see what Levi is going to win. Ah, nice, the G-Cloud, the Logitech. Have you got it yet? Has it turned up? No, my pleasure, my friend. Has it turned up yet? And how are you getting on with it? Looks like it's going to be Resident Evil Biohazard, or is it going to be Ghostbusters Remastered? It's going to be Resident Evil Biohazard, which I will sort out for him. Wowzer. Big money for Lee. That's actually a good game. Can't knock it. There you go. Brilliant stuff. Right. Let's, got it yesterday, and it's brilliant. Oh, that's great news, my friend. Absolutely brilliant news. Yeah, I can think everyone's moving to get them. Eventually, I think most of us are going to own a little handheld. You know, it's so much fun. You take it on your travels and your vacations and train and on your way to school and stuff. I think it's definitely, and with cloud as well. Once we've all got decent 4G or 5G, and the problem is in the UK, I think it's the same most places. Although we don't have caps on our broadband at home, that's pretty much, eat all you want these days. We still have it on our mobile contracts, and most people don't have nearly enough to cover streaming. So you kind of got to find your nearest IKEA or, Starbucks and use their free Wi-Fi. But yeah, loads of GeForce in bed. Oh, it's perfect for that, isn't it? I mean, you're literally playing on a 4080, I think it is, in this thing in your hands in bed. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm really pleased for you, my friend. I'm glad you made a choice, and more importantly, you enjoyed what you bought. That's really cool. So we reached the end of Good News Wednesday. I didn't see any good newses from you guys. I'm sure you have some, but it's all good. It's all good. If you did and I didn't spot it, please DM me or get in touch with me on Discord, and I will happily give you a game code. No, it's all good, my friend. Absolute pleasure. I love helping folk. Particularly if it's easy, isn't it? I'm talking about my own experiences. That's an easy thing to do. So, yeah, it's all good. Take care, everybody. And you, my friend, Ray. Thank you very much. You wonderful human being. I'm going to be back tomorrow with loads of gaming news. We'll cover so much ground tomorrow. It'll be really, really interesting. So don't miss that show. And don't forget, straight after, by a couple of hours, will be Rock Players. That's going to be a cracker tomorrow because they're going to deep dive this stuff. Oh, look, Adam's home today. Oh, you get the day off. Wow, brilliant. So you actually got to listen to the whole show today. Oh, that's super. That's really good news. Thank you, my friend. Doesn't deserve a game, though, Adam. But it's good news. Definitely. Take care, guys. Thank you, Crystal. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, look at that. Mrs. Rock's just pulled up. What timing? Time to go and get dinner. That's what I think. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Rock out.